Learn more about A Legacy of Literature, Facilities Health Check, and our Dream Team intern program coming up on my episode of That's My Biz on bizlinks.tv.
That's My Biz is sponsored by Visita Live Site and Constant Contact. Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Pamela Alexander, and as always, we love bringing to you the wonderful businesses, nonprofits, associations that we meet when we're out there networking, because we want you to know all about them. And today we have a very special guest with us. She is no stranger to BizLinks TV, so we're excited to introduce her to our That's My Biz audience as well. We want to remind you that you can check this episode out again at www.bizlinks.tv. Also, make sure you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/BizLinksTV. And don't forget to make sure you go out there and like the page so that you can see all the wonderful things that are going on, the events that we attend. And then also make sure you go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BizLinksTV. That's where you want to make sure you subscribe, because then you'll get all the updates whenever we put out new videos. So when we're on location, when we're doing new episodes of all the great shows here at BizLinks TV, you'll get those notifications. So make sure that you subscribe, give some thumbs up and some comments for our guests as well. Without further ado, I want to dive right in and introduce you to our guest today. We have with us Ms. Yvette Pegues. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Yvette, she is just a fantastic lady. She is an author. She's a speaker. She's a show host right here on BizLinks TV. Make sure you check out her show, Disability Life TV. Teacher advocate. She is the founder and chief transformational officer of Your Invisible Disability Group. Also, she wears the crown of Miss Wheelchair USA 2014-15, correct?
Correct.
So she has done a lot. And I'll tell you, too, I didn't know this, you're the first woman of color and Georgian to win that title.
Correct.
And then you're also the only woman of color to ever win a national title across all of the disability pageants.
Correct.
First of all, I'm going to tell you, we didn't know there were disability pageants, did we? We're so excited to hear about that, and that's how we met you, and just excited to know her. So, Yvette, the first thing I want to do is, because everyone wonders, and we're gonna touch on it, and then we're going to get into the meat of Your Invisible Disability Group.
Okay.
But the first thing is just sharing a bit of your story. How did you come to be who you are today?
Well, I'm a lot of things, but if we're talking specifically about my disability, it was midlife. So I was born traditional age, traditional timing, and just about 4 to 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a brain malformation called Arnold-Chiari malformation. It's very uncommon. It's 1 in a million, and it affects your brain stem. And to correct the condition, I had a duroplasty, and that's just brain surgery, and also
Just
a craniotomy. At this point, I can say it without stuttering, but yes, it's brain surgery. And as a result of the brain surgery, I walked in and never walked back out. So now I suffer with multiple disabilities, one obviously inherited, and others as a result of the surgery and some other conditions related to the brain.
Okay, wow, that is a lot. But I'll tell you, we are so glad, first of all, that you walked out. I mean, that you rolled out.
Got out, yes.
You know, that you got out is the point. And because of that, you have done so many fantastic things. Now, she was doing fantastic things before. She was an engineer and just really rising in her career. But so now she's rising in a new way. So, and really bringing so much to the community, and especially bringing the awareness to everyone and about the disability community and just all the wonderful things and people and organizations that are part of this community that so many of us just haven't really thought about. So with that, you started Your Invisible Disability Group. Now tell us a little bit about how did that come about?
It's an amazing story because I myself am in a wheelchair. So you would say pretty easily when you meet me that this young lady's disabled or she's sitting in someone's chair. It's the prior, but there are actually 75% more people who suffer with invisible disabilities. And what that means is you can't see it. And if you're not familiar with that condition, you may see it and not know what you're looking at. And in my particular case, as I mentioned earlier, I have multiple disabilities across the board, and my condition is degenerative. So not only do I have a brain injury and a spine injury, neither you can see, but my mobility device gives me away. But I also suffer with chronic pain and head pain and some other things that you can't see. And I felt that it was important not to just be judged by what I wear, which is my chair, but also what I experience. And no one can really see pain. How do you describe it? How do you measure it? And those are the invisible disabilities that I felt needed to be targeted through my organization, Your Invisible Disability Group.
Well, I love that. And, like you said, so many people have disabilities that you don't know about.
Yes.
So now instead of when we look at people, and you think certain things, you're like, okay, what's going on with them?
Right.
Maybe it is something that's actually going on with them and you just don't realize it. And, like you mentioned, having the brain injury and some of those things, but we talk to you on a regular basis. No one would have a clue of what you may be going through and the pain that you're going through, and that's something that we can't see. So we appreciate you bringing that to light and helping everyone be aware of that. So now, with your Invisible Disability Group, and you have something called your 4-4s Workshop Retreat.
Yes,
okay.
I'm really excited about that. I'm so glad you brought it up. My book is called The Art of Adaptability, exclusively featuring the 4-4s for newly disabled and diagnosed persons. And as a result of writing that book, I've been asked to actually hold workshops. So for a lot of professional groups and personal, private support groups, I've been asked to actually go through the book. So rather than purchase what is more of a workbook than an actual reader, I can go into the classroom or into the organization and walk professionals through this book. So you don't have to have a disability to understand it.
Wow. And that's important.
It is.
Because, you're put into that world or you're born into that world if you do have a disability.
Right.
So you're forced to learn and get all the resources and everything that you can.
Correct.
But for those of us who don't, being more aware of that. So, and with that, I know you work with companies to help them learn how to be more aware and also how to help with their facilities.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about what you do with companies, how you work with them.
Well, 4 out of every 6 people either personally have a disability or they're directly linked, connected to someone with a disability. That's a mom, a dad, a child, or a spouse. So if you think of that many people in the workplace, you want to make sure that your workplace is not just accessible based on the letter of the law, but also the spirit of the law. So understanding the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is celebrating its 26th year here in 2016, I go in and sometimes even bring a second wheelchair for the facilities manager to have the same experience and recognize some of the barriers. Some are architectural and some are attitudinal, so their staff may need to get trained. So I literally go through their facility and I help them understand where the barriers are, if they're red, yellow, green, if they need to be corrected, and what the cost would be.
Well, I love that. So then you actually are working with them one-on-one as well.
Yes.
So you've got, this is some great education that is out there, everyone that you want to take advantage of. You've got the fantastic book.
Yes.
You've got the workshops now that go along with the book and support the book. And then also just working one-on-one with the facilities managers and helping them. Now, what do you find? Do you often find that there are a lot of changes that they need to make? Or, because I'm sure a lot of companies are thinking, okay, what's it going to cost me? We want to do things and be more aware and be more inclusive.
Right.
What is it going to cost me? So what do you find out there?
Well, that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked it in the context that you did, because it'll cost you more not to fix it. Because there's risks involved. Having worked at a Fortune 100 company, actually a Fortune 10, for the first 10 years of my post-college years, I understand risk. I understand risk management, and I understand loyalty. So when you make your facility accessible, you invite now a group of individuals, which just happens to be the largest minority in the country, into your business. So most businesses want to change the colors or menu items. All you have to do is make it accessible, and you can bring in $6 billion extra dollars, or have access to it at least. So what I like to do is to make sure that each building that is already built or in the process of being built has a disability expert on the project team. So I, in a lot of ways, become the guinea pig. You don't have to take out a measuring tape, but to come to me and say, Yvette, try out this ramp. Is it at the right grade? I know we follow the directions, but how does it feel? So you now have a tested scientific method that was tested by not just an individual with a disability, but Miss Wheelchair USA, whose responsibility is global.
Wow. I love that. And even just getting into the global part of it, because Yvette has really put herself out there in the community, both locally, nationally, and globally now, and has made herself available to so many individuals to really help them understand. I think so often what we find is people are hesitant to even ask the questions. You know, they can see for people that have visible disabilities, they're hesitant to ask the questions. And just even from watching your show, you know, we've really learned, and it's opened our eyes, it's okay. People would rather you ask questions than kind of sit and wonder.
Absolutely.
So having that accessibility to someone who's telling you right now, reach out to her. If you have those questions, that, you know, that is something you can certainly do. So we give you kudos about that, and we want to make sure that everyone reaches out to you as well. So right now I want to go ahead and ask you to tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So on Facebook, you can find me at Your Invisible Disability on Facebook. But everywhere else, just use my name. YvettePegues.com is my website. I'm Yvette Pegues on Twitter and also on Instagram. I just made it easy.
And you know, and that's something that we talk about right here on That's My Biz, is about the branding and about being consistent in your branding. So I love that. So you all have her information. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we have some other great questions for Yvette. Stay tuned.
How does your small business stay top of mind with customers? From deals that bring them in with an offer, to social media promotions that turn fans into customers, to events that engage and create buzz, to emails that keep loyal customers coming back. Our easy-to-use tools will keep you in front of your customers.
Visita provides a complete business calendar, fully integrated with your client scheduling experience. You can view and manage your daily schedule and any upcoming meetings, and most importantly, schedule new appointments and follow-ups with your clients. Using Visita Calendar for client scheduling will save you time and deliver a better service to your clients. Visita Calendar automatically syncs with your existing calendar on Google, Outlook, iPhone, and more.
Everyone, we're back. We again want to thank our wonderful sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible. And for those of you that are interested in becoming a sponsor as well for That's My Biz, please make sure that you reach out to us at That's My Biz at bizlinks.tv. Now, before the break, we were just talking about, one, how Yvette makes herself accessible to all of you out there that have questions, that want to find out more about how to work with people with disabilities. And even if you're working with people with invisible disabilities, or if you think maybe there's invisible disability there. So she started this great organization, Your Invisible Disability Group, to do just that. Right. Now, Yvette, I want to ask you, what are your top priorities as it relates to Your Invisible Disability Group?
Well, I will say my priorities start at my faith.
Okay.
And obviously my family, and what some people may call fame. But that piece of it is the opportunity to extend my reach through media, whether it's social media, whether it's TV, radio, and obviously the BizLinks TV network. Those are priorities only because we must go global. When I started Your Invisible Disability Group, I had never had any social media connections, although I was an engineer. I worked with technology all day, and that's exactly why I didn't. But I realized that if I'm going to change the image of disability, I needed to create an image. And so that's why I took full pictures with my entire equipment, because one thing you may not know is most people with disabilities, especially when they use mobility devices, would prefer not to have those in photos. And I felt that I needed to be in photos. I needed to show my wheelchair and obviously my 6-inch heels that I no longer have to walk in.
Well, and as part of that took you out to Miss Wheelchair USA and actually participating in the pageant and then winning for 2014, 2015. Share what that's done for you and for your life, becoming Miss Wheelchair USA.
I will say, as an engineer, knowing that you are very strong in the technology field as well, I wore brown, black, and blue. Pretty much didn't really wear much heels or was into many, areas of fashion or even makeup. I will say, as superficial as this sounds, it has opened up a whole new world to me. I feel like I'm experiencing my childhood again. Everything's pink. Everything's bling. I'm wearing makeup for the first time. And I just want to be able to say that it's opened up a part of my life that I didn't know was there.
Yeah.
And I tell people a lot of times that I was using 80% of my talent and only 20% of my gifts. But after the brain injury, because I had to, I flipped it. Now I'm using 80% of my gifts and 20% of my talents because I'm discovering myself all over again. So the Miss Wheelchair organization allowed me not just to become Miss Georgia, which was the first platform of the competition, but I went on to compete as Miss Wheelchair USA against other women who had won their state titles. So I got to meet these amazing women who were gorgeous and beautiful and proud. Proud to be who they were and where they were. And it gave me a sense of pride and a sense of community to do more and to be more.
Wow, I love that. And you've definitely taken the opportunity of this platform to really get the word out. One thing that I love that you talk about is helping those that do have disabilities. Oftentimes you share how people, they kind of stay at home, they don't want to get out, but you've become that example to really help people know, get out, enjoy life. Talk a little bit about that.
I'd love to, because what we don't understand is how our attitude affects our environment. And our environment as people with disabilities is fixed. I know that in my home, everything is where it needs to be for the most part, and I have access to my environment. But to now go to a facility or a business or to patronize another organization, I don't know what I'm set up for. I can even call ahead, which most of us do, to make sure that you are accessible, but that word is not the same for everyone. So our motto at Your Invisible Disability Group is, life does not end at the point of the disability. We help you to live forward.
I love that. I love that. Now, and also I know you work with youth quite a bit. Even your two boys wrote a book. My mommy had brain surgery and I'm okay.
That's right.
Yeah, so you all make sure that you check out that as well and look for their book.
Please.
And so you also have something called the Dream Team Intern Program.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. What kind of opportunities do you have with that?
The beauty of my doing so much in so many different areas, including media, TV, social media, and publications, is that I can now bring in young men and women, usually high school to college age, who don't know what they want to be when they grow up, but they want to try everything. So think about it. We were told when we were younger that you got to get a job to get experience, but you have to have an experience to get a job.
Right.
The opportunity to intern with a national public figure really helps you to try everything. So they can be on the set with me, they can do my makeup. If they're really interested in working with project plans or even technology, I help them to shape their experience to match their dreams and goals. So I'm looking for interns all the time. A lot of the interns that we use have specializations and some have absolutely none, but they get to try all the different areas that I offer as an individual with a disability. And I will just tell a short story that one of the interns that's been working with me, I think she's been with me almost a year. She actually received a scholarship from NHS because she had so many service hours. So because of her service hours, the first part of her collegiate career has been covered financially.
Well, NHS is
the National Honor Society.
Okay.
I still use acronyms, so it shows that my left brain's recovering after all.
There you go. There you go. We love it. We love it. And that's fantastic. So for those of you out there, you're looking for an intern opportunity, here you go. So, and we also know we have a lot of business owners out there, but you're also parents at the same time. So you have some youth, or some youth in your community that may be looking for some opportunities. So please make sure that you share this with them as well. Now, I know also, because we mentioned the book that the boys wrote, and then also your book as well. So you have something called your #Legacies of Literature.
Yes.
Tell everyone what that is.
I love the legacy of literature because as a pageant holder, I had to find a service platform, which means something I believe in, something that I can speak about long after winning or moving on to the next stage of the competition. So I chose as my service platform a legacy of literature. And what that does is it provides an opportunity for children between the ages of 7 and 17 of all varying abilities to get published and turn their storms to stories. And the reason why I have Dream Team, the intern, is because the name of the organization, the nonprofit, is Dream Write Hope University, where we teach you how to turn your storms to stories, get published, and create a library of stories that will create a legacy to last a lifetime.
Wow. Wow, there's so much to jam into this episode. I mean, and I already know there's so many other organizations that she's a part of,
Yes.
that she's advocate for, that she's on the board of, and we don't even have time to get into all of that. But one thing that we did want to share that's coming up is the Power Life Atlanta Conference.
Yes.
And not only is Yvette one of the speakers as part of the conference now, but I also hear that you're a nominee for one of their awards.
Yes,
Wow.
I just heard today I was top 3, so I'm pretty excited about getting that award.
Congratulations. So please tell everyone at the Power Life Conference, Power Life Atlanta Conference, a bit of maybe what you're going to be sharing there.
Well, I'll be sharing more of my story.
Okay.
So if you find anything I said today interesting, obviously you can reach me online, social media, but you can also see me in person at the Power Life Conference right here in Atlanta.
I love that. So everyone's opportunity to get out, to meet a lot of businesses. You get to meet wonderful celebrities as well. You get to meet Yvette. She loves photo ops.
I do.
So make sure that you get a chance to take a photo with her as well. The Power Life Atlanta Conference is sponsored by Minivision, and you can go to minivisiontour.com to register and get your tickets. It is going to be at the Cobb Galleria Center on April 30th, starting at 8 a.m. So you do not want to miss this event. Again, get out there and see Yvette and meet all the wonderful businesses and just get inspired,
Right.
Get empowered. There's going to be a lot of great education, so you do not want to miss the Power Life Atlanta
Absolutely. And as a business person, you don't know what you don't know. But when you come out to these conferences, you get to know people. And something that I've coined and heard recently, not so much even network, but net weave, to bring people together, not just the person that you've met, but the person that you haven't met through the one that you've met.
Right.
So these opportunities are huge, and I recommend them for anyone.
Well, we love that. Thank you so much, everyone. We want you to engage. So, Yvette, one thing that we want to do, I know on your show you do something called the D-Life Diamond, but
Right.
here we just want you to share maybe a nugget, a piece of wisdom that you would want our audience to know about, especially tied to engaging with people who have disabilities.
Absolutely, and thank you for the opportunity, because I don't get it often, believe it or not. We are friends. We are your family members. We are your neighbors. We are your children's teachers, because as I mentioned, we are the largest people group in the country. So if you need to understand the world, understand the people in the world, and recognizing that so many of us do suffer with disabilities, some are invisible and some are visible, it really makes you different. It grows you into a place where you are global. How do you become global? Not necessarily by traveling, but by learning. And you never need to leave the state to be able to become global in your thoughts, in your attitude, and in your environment.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much, everyone. I know that you got a lot of information. Hopefully, I didn't tell you at the beginning this time, but hopefully by now you've learned to get out your pencil and your paper, your pen and your paper, so that you can take all these wonderful notes and remember some of the things that you want to follow up with. And Yvette, I know many people are going to want to follow up with you and reach out to you for various reasons. Companies, you need to learn more about how to make sure that your facilities are meeting the standards, and like you said, not just the legal standards, but what did you say? Not the emotional, but the
spirit of the law.
Spirit of the law. I love that. So make sure that you do that and reach out to Yvette. Yvette, one more time before we leave, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
The easy part of it is, my name's not always easy to spell, but it's where you can find me. It's YvettePegues.com. That's my website. Yvette Pegues on Instagram and Twitter. And specifically for the company, Your Invisible Disability, you can find me on Facebook at Your Invisible Disability, and phone 844-480-0081.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for
Yvette.
having me.
Absolutely, everyone. Again, make sure that you go back, watch this episode at bizlinks.tv. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/bizlinkstv. Make sure that you like the videos. Please also make sure that you share the videos. One day we'll do a tech segment and tell you why all this is so important, but make sure that you do that as well, and give us comments, because our guests see the comments and you can reach out to them through that as well. Also, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/bizlinkstv. Make sure you subscribe so that you get those updates when episodes are released and available for you to check out as well. youtube.com/bizlinkstv. I'm Pamela Alexander, your host with BizLinks TV Network. Remember, we're exposing your business to the world.